Kia ora, this is Tina Cross. You know you're in the Cook Islands when you're listening to Matariki FM.
Anyway, e te autake I roto te atianga ko te Pitbull e te Don no tā rāwa tuanga Tuatua Tika I roto I te popongi aka ie. At this time, folks, it's the Pitbull and the Don for some straight talking this morning. Kia ora, good morning to you, George.
Yes, good morning to you, William, and the Don. And boy, is our talk going to be straight this morning.
Well,
straight to the point.
It's always straight.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. Okay, well...
No beating around the bush.
Don't beat around the bush. Okay, now, before we get into this...
The Herald.
The
premium news breaking story of the Cook Islands. Yes. It's an award-winning publication too, William.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right, well, that's good. A bit of activity at Pit Media yesterday. Share the love.
Oh, yesterday. Well, I understand that the police were executing a search warrant to search for things.
Normally it's a search and seize.
Yeah, well, even in the search warrant, I'm told that they had the right to break anything that was locked to gain entry. And they also...
wouldn't be the normal thing to ask first?
Well, I mean, it's strange, but it was on there. Just in case something was locked up in a safe, I suppose, or something.
Yeah.
But it originated from the Solicitor General. Tony Hakora, the radio announcer, had sent a text to him.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, he was police had visited Tony and said, you know, you have committed an offence under the Telecommunications Act.
Right.
And that was a very difficult thing to swallow for anybody. The next thing you know, there's a search warrant executed to go and search for some materials that Tony Hakoro had somehow were associated with this offence of the Telecommunications Act. So I don't know what they were looking for. No one seemed to take much notice as the police were searching around, and I don't think they knew what they were searching for themselves.
Do you think there could be a second search warrant done today?
Yeah, they were searching. They went to one of the senior management's home in the morning to search. I don't know what they were searching for, nor did they. That's a real Mickey Mouse. But it's Tony's story, and I'm sure you should get Tony on here one day next week and ask him to explain.
Well, he doesn't know because it wasn't served on him.
Yeah, well, he went to the police station and said, what's going on here? Why are you searching? Why you got the search warrant out for?
Yeah.
But it's amazing, you know, that for such trivial matters, the Solicitor General can tie up valuable resources. It's just so nonsensical, William, that you got these foreigners here dictating to us what to do. They jump, you know. I mean, the Solicitor General's had Mona Ioane's file from the police for months, probably a year now. What's he doing about that?
A year?
You know, what's he doing about that? And someone sends him a text message and he jumps up and down, wants them charged, wants them arrested. And the text message was about seizing, questions about him pushing to seize the property of Taina Bishop under the Proceeds of Crime Act. You know, it's just hideous. It's stupid. He is a boss. His boss is Henry Puna, who is the Attorney General. And then he says, well, I can't interfere. That is a load of nonsense. He should put his foot down and slap the Solicitor General over it and get on with the real business.
Yeah.
You know, of whatever you're supposed to do. But it's all unfolding. I wrote a story months and months ago after Taina Bishop had been sentenced, and I wrote a story about that they were going to press or activate the Proceeds of Crime Act to recover some of the expenses of putting the trial on.
Yeah.
And I've been told there's a certain figure that they'll be happy with if they were paid that figure under the Proceeds of Crimes Act. But, you know, let's see how that pans out.
But there was no, from memory, there was no ruling on costs.
No, I know that, but this is one way of trying to retrieve the costs of Crown law, because government doesn't have the money that they claim to have.
Right. Okay. So
It's all just grubby. You know, it's these foreigners that just blindly, do the dirty work of the Pontius Pilate, Henry Puna.
And when all of these sort of things come out, half of cabinet disappear. They left the island.
Well, William, I've written about all these things, and it's just a matter, it's coming to pass. There was all these denials about the Proceeds of Crime Act and, but you see, they'll deny things, but eventually these things come out.
Yeah, okay. Well, what do you think will happen? Do you think there's something that's going to happen?
Oh, yes. They'll pay the money. There's no point fighting it. The bishops have had enough.
It's almost like extortion, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they'll push it to the limit. And they're doing this for a reason. But I can't disclose that on the radio.
Why not?
No, it's...
Secret squirrel stuff.
Well, it's sometimes you have access to information that you need to...
It's not suitable for broadcast.
Yeah, it's not suitable for public consumption because it's, it's so X-rated.
X-rated, okay.
Yeah. There's a censor. Persons under this age. There could be children listening to this.
Well, you, in the last 3 years, I think, have laid complaints with the police. One about the RMD number with Internal Affairs affecting your pension, and then the other one was to do with the Manahiki land monies. How long did they take the police to respond to those two complaints?
Well, the first one, the Inland Revenue, the Internal Affairs stopped taxing my pension because that was wrong. That was unlawful. You see, they've got this idea that it's not illegal, it's unlawful. They know how to split the hairs. They said, well, sorry, Mr. Pitt, but, it wasn't illegal. I said, what was it? It was unlawful. Well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You see, but then they can't explain what the difference is. Well, they say, well, but these legal people can twist things any way they want. This is why they're like con artists. Anyway, one of the one about Manahiki, the evidence was overwhelming. This was extortion. It was overwhelming. Government had spent money. That was unlawful, not illegal, unlawful. And their police came back to me after 16 months and said there was insufficient evidence. They didn't even interview the Prime Minister, who was the subject of my complaint. And yet, they can run around over a telephone call, use up all this resources over such a trivial... it wasn't a phone call, it was a text message. They just got their priorities all wrong. The Solicitor General should deal once and for all with the Mona Ioane case. Either come out in public and say he's not going to proceed.
No case, yeah.
No case to answer. Or he's going to go and do something about it. But if he does, that's sort of going to unsettle government's so-called stability. Because I'm telling you, William, the government will not win the Vaito seat. Because the Prime Minister's made promises there that he's never kept. That's probably Donald Trump ringing. He rings me this time every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking to the Arabs, Well, he was with the Pope the other day. So, George, what shall I do? What shall I say? Jobs. I said, make sure you get jobs.
Yeah.
Anyway, the latest news last night. You want to hear the latest news from last night?
Go for it.
Matawera Democratic Party folk met.
Yep.
And they have elect Toti Tupa as their candidate for the next election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Overwhelming.
Was it like a runoff thing, or was it just...
Well, there was talk that Casey was going to... Eagleton would concede.
Yeah.
But she insisted on having a runoff. It was a terrible night last night. Very bad night. There was 100 and 46 people who voted.
Wow.
Yep, they were old people said, look, don't bother coming up. There was some other functions on, but there was 146 people turned up. Tuatua Tika had 130 votes. Cassie got 15. That's a real slap in the face. And there was one invalid vote.
Wow.
130. Cassie got 15. I don't know what possessed her to think she had a chance.
Wow.
And I mean, that's a real stamp of approval. And I don't think, did we mention about the Titikavika CIP? Two weeks ago, Margaret Martinga ran away with that.
Yeah, the same night last week. We didn't have that news until later on in the day, Thursday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I knew about it soon as results is out. I got a call.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So, what about that one?
Well, it was overwhelming too for Margaret. There was a bit of skullduggery going on there, but that all failed, and Margaret got twice as many votes as the person that came second.
Okay.
There were three candidates in the end that went in the runoff.
Right.
And Margaret got at least twice as many. Second and third together got as many votes as what Margaret had.
Okay. All right. So did you go out to Matavera last night? Or?
Oh, no. There's a lot of minor birds out there. The weather was too bad. I'm on a bike, William, you know.
Yeah.
It's cold last night.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm a pensioner, and all the pensioners said to just stay home. We'll manage. Yeah. But Kirio Turim's got a real fight in his hands there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to talk to the minister?
The minister should retire. He's older than me. Done his dash.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not he continues to be a member of parliament, I don't think it will make much difference to him. You know, he's not in there because of the money. You know, he's pretty well self-sufficient. It's not as if he needs the job for the money.
Right.
He's probably doing it as a hobby.
Okay. Well, before we get into the hero stories, the 19th of June seems to be the date Parliament will sit. Have you heard anything?
That's what I've been told. And I'm not very happy, William, with this Parliament sitting.
Yeah.
And I've expressed this unhappiness to the CIP. I've said, before, in the days of old, we used to, when radio was broadcasting, we used to make a substantial amount of money from Parliament sittings.
Yeah, go on.
Now, we barely get petty cash from them.
Yeah. 3
days and it's all over. I'm screaming to keep going. He said, well, you know, Thursday's the day, you know, that it could cause a few problems. Well, just have a break on Thursday and carry on.
Adjourn it till the day after.
Yeah, adjourn it till Friday. Have a break on Thursday and keep going.
Yeah.
Go for 3 weeks. I keep telling them, you know, and I say to the opposition, look, I'll chuck you some money if you can carry on and make the government keep the radio program going, the live broadcast.
Oh, well, I mean, that's for you. Don't worry me. Well, what do you think? Okay.
But it's a conspiracy against the Pitt Media Group, I think.
Do you think so?
Yes. Deny them the radio time so we don't have to pay them so much because they're troublemakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I keep saying, well, I won't vote for you again. Have you ever voted for us?
Well, what do you think is going to pan out when Parliament does sit? And I guess they'll have to sit for 10 days. You should be thankful that you got 10 days worth of what's that, 4 hours a day? So you're going to get 40 hours of fees. You might be called up before the PAC like everyone else has been. Like Te Paru Herman, Kairangi Samuel and Tinka have to face the wrath of the Public Accounts Committee, I think tomorrow.
Well, I don't mind facing. I'm going to demand that they extend Parliament sittings.
Why are you charging these sort of fees to foreign workers coming in? That's for Foreign Affairs and Immigration, and for Tika, for people wanting to research their land. They own the stuff. Anyway. Yeah, so you could end up being there in regards to your fees.
That's right.
Yeah. And then you could justify saying that there's a conspiracy.
There's a conspiracy.
Yeah, but anyway, setting aside all of that.
The family allowance that was announced by Mark Brown.
Yeah, well, he announced that on the launch of Albert's campaign.
Well, it actually is Albert's is the architect of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one says what is it going to cost the taxpayer, because he wouldn't say how much is it going to go up by.
Well, firstly, why did the Minister of Finance announce it? Why couldn't they wait for Albert to get back in to do it?
No, you see, this is a government that's got the Democratic Party round the neck.
Yeah.
See, what they're saying is, look, this is some of the goodies that's only in the budget. And if the demos set out to try and stop the budget, or they'll be accused of being, not wanting people to have these wonderful lollies.
I see you made some reference to lollyticians.
Yeah, lollyticians, not politicians.
Lollyticians, yeah.
So this whole exercise is going to cost an extra $1.3 million.
Okay.
This family allowance, already new babies, there's a new baby allowance of $1,000. You see,
that's been around though a wee while.
Oh yes, but they're adding to that. That will stay as it is. That there's the increase in the family allowance,
right?
And there's more to come, William.
Okay.
The government was saying, we can't afford to give that. Well, they were proven wrong because they can afford it.
Okay.
And
when they start seizing assets and things like that, gee,
but this is not all. Before the next general elections, William, the old age pension will be increased for the outer islands.
Yeah.
Penryn will get 1.5. The southern group will get 1.25, and Rarotonga and Aitutaki will get 1
each. Or
well, for every dollar that you receive in the pension here in Rarotonga, the likes of Penryn and the Northern Group will get $1.50 because there's going to be built into the pension a cost of living allowance. All right, and it's just part. See, the Democratic Party have never come up with a depopulation program policy. They just don't have one. They don't have anybody there smart enough to figure one out. So the increase in the social welfare benefits is all part of encouraging people to stay. Now, who have the most influence over voters in the outer islands? It's the elderly people. That's why they're going to get a beautiful lolly right up the northern group of 1.5 for their pensions, and a beautiful lolly down here in the southern group of 1.25. You see, because those people in the outer islands, the elderly, have a big influence on how their families vote.
Right.
You see, so they're just outsmarting the demos all the time. The demos are going to be portrayed as spoilers. These people trying to ruin, the blessings we're giving you.
Right.
That's why they'll realise that. Some of the Democratic Party have always started to realise that they're going to support the budget. Your friend James Beer wants them to oppose it. Well, it's going to make the demos look really silly. The tax cuts, all the things that are going to come for the people in this. You see, the government's had to deal with infrastructure problems because when the demos were in, they deferred everything. They put everything off. And now
wait and see.
Substantial amount of money has to be invested in infrastructure.
Right.
Now, the next, this is why the CIP government want to go the whole term, because Because by the time you come to vote again, there are lollies everywhere.
Right.
And that's why they'll romp in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll romp in smartly. Because the demos can't come up with any policies that they're willing to share. That's everything's a secret. And they dump it all on the people in the last minute. People can't absorb all that. But mark my words, that after the child allowance, which is going to cost the country $1.3 million,
Yeah.
and after the budget, I will tell you where that money's coming from.
After the budget.
Yeah, after it gets approved.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So,
and then also the announcement will likely come before the elections, and this will get people enthused about the mineral, the nodules.
yeah.
That once they start selling mining fees,
Right.
the income tax will stop for everybody. There'll be no more personal income tax.
Oh, all right. God. George, Parliament on the 19th of June. Is it probable that it would only sit for 3 days?
Most likely. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yep.
Okay. And then you'd hear sacre bleu.
Oh, yeah, well, you see, the demos should stop wasting their time with no confidence votes and all this plotting and planning, because it won't work. It won't even get that far. Anyway, there's no one smart enough amongst them that can execute any of this.
Execution.
That's it. Comes down to execution. All the talk.
Right.
Nothing will happen.
Okay, so...
Government can comfortably lead until the full term is up. The only thing that may get in their way is more Ioane's issue.
Right. Well, that's the reality, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've got that base covered.
There must be a number of MPs travelling on the 25th.
Well, that's what my article says in the paper. You know, Tina Brown's she's so off the mark, saying his position's under threat. It's going to be, like I've written in my story, it's going to be like a stroll in the park for Elvis.
Yeah.
And because he's got a very important speaking engagement somewhere in the world. Somewhere. And he'll be off and he'll be waving goodbye.
He'll be going
See you later.
Probably to New York around about that time for the ocean thingy-majig. I'll have a look. But, yeah.
Mate, they've got their bases covered. They're too smart. There's no one smart enough in the demos who are still squabbling over their differences. You've got a novice in Tina Brown that's so far off the mark, you know, and drums up these scatterbrain comments.
Well, instead of banging Tina with those sort of comments, George, you know, what's her solution?
Well, she's been told what the solution is, but she don't want to accept it.
Are you able to share that?
Well,
Eh? Pardon?
It all starts with the demos thinking they can push the media around.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, they included you, William.
That's right.
Throwing you out of the conference.
Everyone.
Well,
yeah.
See?
Not just
so
me.
It hasn't.
Yeah.
Until she sorts that out, the demo's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. She's got to sort that issue out before she can go anywhere.
Well,
and to make stupid comments about the media or personalities in the media, it's backfiring on her.
Okay. But she does need some help, doesn't she?
Of course she does. But, you know, she's been advised by so many people, sort this matter out, and she refuses to. Right?
Okay.
Well, it's only going to be detrimental to herself. I mean, she has no influence in the caucus, except for one or two. You know, there's a couple in the caucus, or one person in the caucus who wants her to come and say, I appoint this person as the leader of the opposition. Well, it's not going to happen because she can't do that. The opposition leader is chosen by those in caucus, a majority of them. It's not a two-party system. All right? In opposition, you've got three parties. You've got Cook Islands Party, OCI and you've got demos. So the demo leader can't just say write a letter to Parliament and say, this is our leader of the opposition.
Yeah.
They're going to say, no, you come back with a list of signed names and give that to the Clerk of Parliament.
Yeah. The leader of the opposition has gone very quiet.
That's right.
What's happening?
She's not here.
Oh. Oh, no wonder it's quiet. Okay. Where is she? Archie or somewhere else? Overseas?
No, it's not up for me to say.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just checking some stuff here that it's around about the first week of the 10th of April, wasn't it? When the Democratic Party had its conference. And nothing really has changed.
No, that's what I said. I said all along. Nothing's going to change, and everybody was hopeful and said, this conference will be a conference of change. What changed? They're still languishing in the political wilderness. They're still talking up a load of nonsense. After the loss in Rapa, and here's the leader of the opposition, of the Democratic Party saying, we're growing in strength day by day. What a load of rubbish. That's all space cadet verbal diarrhea. She's got to get real and say, we have serious problems and I'm going to sort these problems out. But she doesn't have the capacity to do that. She's in charge of the party.
Yeah.
That's a totally different thing from the parliamentary wing.
I don't think it's a one-man job to fix up those issues.
She's been given the answer, but she refuses to accept it. And one day this will all come out in the open, William.
Okay.
About how dumb she is because she's embraced the demonic spirit that is possessing the Democratic Party.
How many factions do you think there are?
3.
3.
In the demos, there's 3 factions.
Okay.
And they're becoming deeply divided as time goes on.
Where are they seated? Are they in caucus or outside?
Both.
Okay.
Well, in caucus, there's 3.
Okay.
And there's no way she's going to amend that because she's sitting on the outside. That's got to be done from within. And there's got to be some concessions from people who think that they should be the leader.
It's interesting you've come up with three factions. I mean, that's a huge...
Of course it is. Not 2, it's 3 factions. If they don't be careful, you'll find that one of them will just break away.
That is serious. Yeah.
Yeah, and they think they can, they should look at this. The Rapa result is a resounding defeat, but they celebrate defeat. They're glorifying in their defeat. And that's what the story's about. The demos celebrating failure by lying to themselves. Why can't they just be honest to themselves and honest to the public? And they've got 15 months or so to fix up their problems. They're broke. They're insolvent.
Is that enough time? 15 months to fix it?
Well, every day that goes by, there's one day less that they haven't started solving their problems.
So you think there is a fear factor in actually facing front on the issues?
Well, the Democratic Party don't like to offend each other on one side. Oh, I don't want to say this because that might upset this person. And so they can't face the reality of what must be done. They all want to do it in a nice way. It can't be done in a nice way.
Yeah.
That's one of the costs of leadership. You have to make unpleasant decisions. But when you do, you've got to make sure that was a good decision, future tense.
The right one, yeah.
Yeah, Tina Brown's best contribution to the Democratic Party would to resign right now. Because she's not capable of solving the problems that exist. And no one's going to solve them for her except herself. It starts with her. And she's digging her foot and she's resisting. The simple, it's like Taina Rongo. All he had to do was apologise. But he refused to apologise. What does that show about his character? And then the leader of the party gets, oh, he's a man of great character, his word is to be trusted. He lied, you know. And they're promoting a person of great intellectual academia. And they were trying to restrict Albert as being just a grass cutter, a lawnmower. You see? But they don't know the real things he gets on with. He's made a huge difference to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And, you know, he's a very smart political talent. Albert Nick. He got a long way, believe me.
Okay, George, we have to call it quits for this morning.
Already?
Already. It's pretty quick. Yeah.
Wow. What happened?
Okay. Thank you for your straight talking.
Okay.
Catch up next week.
Kia ora, this is Tika Cross. You know you're in the Cook Islands when you're listening to Matariki FM.